In this video we are going to extract a photo, an element from a photo. So what that means is that we are going to remove the background of the photo. And I have chosen pretty easy photos to work with. You can always use your own photo, but if you do that, please return the original photo as well to the submission file. You should use a photo with a clear background so that the background is not that busy if you haven't done a lot of extracting. If you have, you can always show your skills with this assignment. We are going to start by opening the file from the upper panel. I'm going to go to open. You have downloaded the files with zip folder, and I have it here, and we are going to take the doc photo. Okay, so now in the first video, that I did for you for Photoshop, we briefly talked about these different types of selection tools. So rectangular marquee tool, lasso tool, quick selection tool, and object selection tool. You can try object selection tool with this photo, for example. Let's see how that goes. If it selects the right area. So yeah, it has done a lot of work for me, but still I need to fix it a little bit. So I can go to quick selection tool and then choose the minus selection tool, and yes, that looks better. And then we can go a little bit closer. I can also, oops. So I'm going to select this to my selection, and I'm going to go and take a look at this area, which is not that great. I will once again make the brush a little bit smaller and fix this edge here. Like so. And here as well. It's alright. So now I can also modify my selection from the tool panel. We have this edit in quick mask mode. Is the last tool here, and it looks like this. If you put it on, it will have like a mask on, like a red mask on. And now if we would like to, you don't have to do this by the way, but if you have done a lot of extracting or a little bit extracting, you can take a look at this. And this is a great tool, especially if you have a drawing table. You can, for example, select hair from here. Let's put it to white, so white is going to make things visible. It should be thinner, but you get the point. So you can add more to your selection with this, or fix little bits here. So the black is going to create more mask, so it's going to hide your selection, and white is going to reveal your selection. This is kind of an old-fashioned way of doing this, and this is really beneficial with some spots, but we are going to go we are going to continue our like normal basic extracting. So let's put this off, the quick mask mode off. And then when you have the selection here, if you would have it in other way, so that you would have the selection in the background, so that these little lines would go near the edge of the photo, you should go to select inverse, which is going to inverse your selection. So if that has happened, no worries, you can just go to select and inverse. Anyway, now when you have the selection, select any of the selection tools and go to select and mask in the upper panel here. And now you can choose this view and you can choose white. So we are going to do our selection, our extracting to white background. So select the white one here. And then we are going to refine, do some editing to the edge. This looks a little bit funny. It should probably, I should probably delete it, but let's leave it like that. So smooth is going to make the like little edges here smoother. So if I add some smooth, it's going to smooth these edges. And feather, on the other hand, is going to make the edge between the selection and the background smoother. So it's going to kind of like mix those pixels. So if I add a little bit too much, you can see how it takes a part of the background color here. So you shouldn't have too much feather. You can try to make a balance with this, these two. And I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm not going to make it perfect, but then I will take a look at this side panel in the left side. And then we have this refine edge brush tool, which is really, really good if you want to edit the areas that have like a hairy texture. So it acts like a brush. It has the normal size and the plus and the minus options, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to retouch the edges that I know that are the most hairy. So now you can see how it affects the area. Maybe let's go a little bit bigger so we can see it more clearly. So now you can see that it has done a little bit like a more hairy kind of texture that is going to look more natural for this extracting with the animal. I should not retouch the whole image. It works best with the parts that I know that are most hairy. And now with this one, I am going to leave this, maybe retouch this edge of the nose a little bit, but I'm going to make some adjustments later. So I'm going to just add a little bit here. Sometimes it's really slow, so if you don't have anything happening, just wait for a bit and then you can see how it has modified the edge. Of time, this actually does not look really good, so I'm gonna... Okay, so now I'm pretty like happy with the result. Maybe this should be edited more even, the ear, the top of the ear. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. And now that I'm ready, I'm just gonna press OK in the right corner. And then now I'm going to select my selection by pressing CMD, or maybe if you are working with PC control, I'm gonna press it down and then press C like Celsius, which is going to copy my selection. And now that I have my copy, I can create a new file. So I'm gonna create a new file, and it has this first option, which is clipboard. This is going to be exactly the size that I have just copied. So if we do this, create, and then paste our selection, so CMD or Control plus V, I'm going to have exactly the same size as my dog. So now I can easily crop this larger, so have my crop tool, and then I will add some space here like this. And now let's go to window and layers. So now I have my layer 1 here, which is the dog. I can make it visible and invisible by pressing the I, and I have my background here. So now I could even do some more editing, for example by using the eraser, and I can go to the edge of the dog and maybe lower the hardness so I can make these edges more smoother like this. You can do so much things with extracting, but at this point it's good enough that you have like a pretty nice edge for your element. You could, for example, use brushes here. If I would really do a nice extracting, I would use a drawing table, and then I would like kind of like make hair like brush strokes with my eraser, so that the hair would look really hairy, because hair, and especially human like with long hair, for example a really fuzzy hair, uh, and the background would be busy, so it would be hard to get the hair right. But now that you have the basic tools, you know kind of like how to start. You have a lot of tutorials for extracting photos with here, and like you learn more tools about that if you want to learn it. Um, but this would be okay enough for your assignment. So you could do more. You could, for example, do some editing here, and maybe this should be done. Um, but if you want, you can change the color in your background. You can do it by having um, a solid color adjustment mask, which would go like this. So you could have like a different type of color here. So with this you would choose solid color, and this color picker would appear. Sorry for that. Or the other option would be that you would have you would select your color picker from the tool panel, and then you would select your color, and then you could use your paint bucket tool from here under the gradient tool, and then just paint the background color. Two options, both are good. And then you just save your file as GPG, and once again type your name clearly. So for me it would be Liisa Hannula, extracting, and then GPEG, and you would say with maximum quality.